Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Jedi and Sith, and anywhere in between, to another video where today we're going to be using Vader's rework in the place of a power event. Now today we're going to be using a Gear 11 Emperor Palpatine with Gear 12 Darth Vader, Darth Revan, and Bastila Shan with the Gear 9 Darth Maul. This is Tier 1 of the challenge, so the harder Tier 1 of the challenge tiers. And this first part, I'm just going to go through it quickly because I'm still trying to mess around, trying to figure out how to actually appropriately use Vader to get the maximum amount of turns. But in the second phase, I'll be able to show you and tell you a little bit more about it, as let's finish up right here. So first off, what you're going to want to do with Vader is use his Force Crush, in my opinion. So use the Force Crush to get the turn meter rolling under Palpatine. Then use his new ability and apply basic, and you can use the saber throw if I suggest about the first or second time, because by the time he's done he'll already have refreshed it. Use the Force Crush so he's got more turn meter gain, and now right now he's out of it, so he can now use his saber throw, and he could potentially, I got one where he got like 7 turns in a row. So you can definitely do that. That was like 7 turns right there, but there were 6 people. So a general rule of thumb is to use the Force Crush first, then his Massacre ability, and then you use the lightsaber throw first or second time, because hopefully by the time you're done attacking all 5 and he has no one else to attack with the Massacre buff on them, well, not buff, but effect on them, you can then have another saber throw. So you use Force Crush, use Massacre. You then use saber throw, basic, Force Crush again, and then about by that time you're out of the rampage, and so you use saber throw yet again, and you could have a potential of having 8 debuffs on an enemy, which under Palpatine's lead you get 5%. That's 40% turn meter just right there. So we've got another rampage going on here, and you'll see I'm going to use the saber throw right here, and we actually get a kill because of the Massacre effect on Vader. He gains extra offense and critical damage, so he's going to be dealing a lot more damage, and yet again he would take another turn if everyone else wasn't full of turn meter from him killing off that person. And then yet again another turn. So Vader just will keep gaining these turns, especially when you use that Massacre ability correctly. You can have so many debuffs on the enemy team that you can just roll over them. Now this is helpful in this event especially because there's a lot of preloaded turn meter, as you saw probably in the beginning. All of the enemy attacked, and my Vader's pretty fast, so they've got a lot of preloaded turn meter. Now I know this is probably one of the more easier events because you have Malak most of the time, but if you don't have Malak because you're free to play or you're newer, Darth Vader with Palpatine lead, and you can get a couple other Sith in there if you gear up Darth Maul, it should work pretty well. Sith Trooper would be very helpful, either variant. I'd suggest Bastila Shan because of her just how much she has of debuffs, and Darth Revan is obviously helpful because of his fear and shock and buff immunity, which is helpful throughout the rest of the battle. Now I'm so confident with this team at this point that I just turn this on full auto. Now I will say this, it does feel like Vader's AI doesn't know how to use Massacre, as if they kind of just added it in as an afterthought, because oftentimes he uses Force Crush a lot more often than I would like him to use that Massacre ability, but he does still use it after several turns. It's like his 3rd pick of an ability if it's available. So which kind of sucks because you generally would want that to be like your 1st or 2nd pick of an ability. So defensive wise that might hurt. Later today I'm going to put out a video on him defeating, with the Empire, just plain old Empire, defeating Night Sisters, which before I've shown they have a difficulty, like especially when the Night Sister team is at a higher relic level, because I only have 1 relic, and that's Thrawn. And when you've got a Gear 10 and Gear 8 Tarkin and TIE Pilot respectively, that's a big gear gap, but Vader now fills that and just makes it so much easier to get the turn meter going and win, which is awesome because, as I showed, moving from Empire to Sith team drastically decreases the viability. But now with Vader's rework, it boosts the Sith viability and then boosts the Empire's viability even more. Now, this is pretty much it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Consider sticking around and finishing watching. And as always, this has been the Grand Admiral and end transmission.
Jedi scum! Time to abandon ship. You fool! I've been trained by Anakin Skywalker.
What? Wait a minute.
You fool! I've been trained by you, General Kenobi.
Wait a minute. How did this happen?
You fool! I've been trained by Anakin Skywalker.
What? Wait a minute. How did this happen?
You fool! I've been trained by General Kenobi.
You disappoint me.
What?